I find us very amusing. So you can choose.
We don't make this content for anybody but the two people in the room right now.
It's almost totes.
Except for now we spent a bunch of money.
And time.
Learning brand new skills. Our friends and family are shocked
that we
and
are doing
amazed.
This. Yeah. And most of them are also very uninterested.
It's fair.
Most people don't care about history and the past. So we're glad that you're listening to us.
And on that note, you should just introduce us.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Histories Uncharted. Here with me, as always, is my co-host, Cecilia. And I am your host, Shanna. Yeah, and we are here with a new installment and a new story. What were we talking about last time?
Bacchanalia. Dionysus.
Yeah, we're going to do something a little more serious this time.
Yeah. I don't know. That ended up serious. It always does.
It always does.
Well, maybe, dark turns.
Once you start really taking a look at things and you're like, whoa. So yeah, started off with a bang. That was a really cool 4-episode chunk. I don't know how many episodes this guy is going to turn into. So we're excited to find out.
We shall.
And this week, we are going to talk about one of the most favorite things that we love to talk about, and that is women in history.
Whoop, whoop.
And all of the many ways that history has fucked us over.
Words.
And we want to make sure their stories are told and that it's not just with a male perspective and, given a new look. Not like a lot of thousands of people haven't already looked at this amazing woman. It is going to be Joan of Ark.
Heck yeah.
So many of you are super familiar, and we're just here to talk about and celebrate a brave young teenager that was murdered by her captors. Yeah.
All right. Starting off strong. John dies at the end, guys. Not that most people don't know the story of Joan of Ark.
I heard John.
I said John dies at the end. It's the name of a movie where the
You
dude
did say
dies at the end.
God, I did.
It fits. Joan dies at the end, guys.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. In case you didn't know.
Yeah.
She's gonna die.
Patriarchy all over her.
Yes. Humans humaning.
And her story begins all the way back in the 100 Years' War. And a lot of Americans are like, what
does that even mean?
Yeah. And a lot of overseas listeners probably have to learn it in their history classes in like middle school. And
right.
Stuff
This
like
is
that.
basic BS, guys. This is
But
common knowledge for the world, except for
Americans.
Most Americans.
Most Americans.
I won't say all of us.
Yeah, because we're Americans and we're trying.
Heck yeah. There's actually, we have, it's not mainstream. And when it is brought to us mainstream, it's in a sensationalized version that is loosely based on the story. I just learned some hard truths about the Joan of Arc that I've seen with Mila Jovovich not being truthful in like some heart of heart things for her, which
we'll get into as we start telling her tale.
Yeah, I don't know why I would be shocked by this, but
Hollywood's got to Hollywood it up.
They do.
And they have to make certain portrayals seem, and that, they fluff the facts a little bit.
Absolutely.
But also historians fluff facts and victors fluff facts, and
truly
everything we know is someone's fluffed fact.
Even people who are trying to give an honest go at it are still interpreting it through their life experience.
Correct. And so we have the modern lens that we have to contend with, because we definitely do not understand the way general society worked in the 1400s. Like, we know on a piece of paper what it's like, but we don't know on the inside.
I feel like this is why we're here experiencing these stories in the first place, is to have that modern lens experience of two ladies from
2025.
I am vibing with the fact that we get to sit and experience this story together.
Yeah, that's all this is really about, is sharing these stories with each other and with all of you. And hopefully you dig it, because we dig it.
This is what most people said happened. So let's talk through it.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. 100 Years' War. We are going all the way back to 1337 through 1453, which if you can math,
That's a little more than 100 years.
it's 116.
Not as catchy
It's
as
not.
the 100-Year War,
The
though.
116th year war. Nope. But it's cool. Long story short, it's the war against England and France. They've been enemies since the dawn of time. This particular case, we're just going to do a really, really quick hit it and quit it. It's only one paragraph, I swear.
All right.
France makes a peace treaty with Scotland. Everyone knows Scotland is England's enemy. Everyone should also be able to look on a map and know that Scotland is north of England and France is south of England. Okay? England, being in the middle, are now very concerned that they have the people immediately north and south of them allying together.
They're in an enemy sandwich.
They sure are.
Yeah, that's
They're
rough.
Not really digging this.
No.
Okay. Scotland is obviously an access point. France at this point is the bigger fish in the pond. They are more resourced and more funded and richer, and they are on the continental side, so they have a lot of land and resources that way. Okay. The only thing the French are really dependent upon the England for predominantly is wool, because English love sheep and sheep herding and sheeping makes wool, and France doesn't really do that. They do really fun things like art and
It's a little
cannons
too
and-
hot for wooling in France.
Well, they
though.
still need it. They just
Yeah.
don't want to do it.
Well, those fashionable little Frenchmen
They are.
definitely need wool.
Yeah. All right. So now the English are like,
Sorry
"Oh."
if I was offensive to the French. I apologize.
Well, it's warmer there.
They
in
were
France.
very fashionable, though.
They were very fashionable. They led
Yes.
a lot of trends. The French court
Absolutely.
dictated fashion in England often
Heck yeah.
throughout the years. Okay. Edward III. He's an English king. He claimed the French throne because his mom was French. Because let's remember, kings of all sorts of different countries like to marry their daughters off to random other countries, meaning that half of the king is some other country because the princess came from some other country. Mm-hmm. And this princess was French. So he is saying, by right of my mom, a whole half of my lineage is French, so I have a right to the French throne. And the French say, we don't think so, stay over there. And then they had a big war and a bunch of people died. And that is the 100-Year War. Summation. That's pretty good, huh? What's that blink for?
He's just
I did my best for one paragraph.
No, I
That was
totally dig it, but like that's a little unreasonable, don't you think?
Oh, he had. Well, what are you going to do? You are sandwiched between your enemies.
I get it, but
There's a lot of politics and there's a lot of backstory to all of this. This is just my one paragraph.
his whole thing is, but my mommy's French,
So I should have the throne as well.
so this is mine.
Yeah. So they invade France.
Oh, so this is like, here's my legitimate reason to be doing this to you, other than I feel like you guys are going to take me out.
Yes.
So he's like, this is my way to strike first.
Yes.
All right.
This is the medieval game of Risk. It's not on a board. It's with peasantry's life.
It truly is. Yeah.
So
it's-
either you let Scotland and France smush you in between each other, and we have like haggis croissants or something now. I don't even know what that would do.
weird.
Or you stand up and say, cool, I'm going to take your throne too. And so that's what he did.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
But let's say it with dead peasants.
And lots of money wasted.
Right?
And horses. Poor
Yeah.
horses. Yeah.
All right. That sounds.
And tax increases.
And taxes. And murder and death.
Fields of vegetables and food being destroyed as the fields are raided.
What else would kings do?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So, September 1380, We're going to be living in France here, okay? So the King of France, Charles V, he dies. He leaves his 11-year-old son on the throne, who is surprisingly Charles VI. It's going to be rough, guys, but we're going to do our best.
Weird.
Okay. So this little guy, he's 11 when he takes the throne. So
obviously a man ready for this job.
No, you have
Sign me up, sir.
You have a regency, which means that your mom, along with officials and advisors, help him learn how to be king.
Right.
And they are really the power behind the throne at this point until the regency's over.
And oftentimes they're for nefarious reasons.
Well, of course, you want to snag the regency because now you're the power behind the throne of this little kid that you can, subjugate, mold to your will.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the ideal position is the regent. He has a ton of regents. Okay, so when his dad dies, he has 5 brothers. So this is 5 men that think that they should be on the throne as opposed to the son.
So these are kiddos' 5 uncles, essentially, that are all swooping in.
Right. So you have your king, your uncles being your regents. Really 3 of them were the predominant. So we have the Duke of Burgundy, the Duke of Berry, and the Duke of Anjou. Let's try to remember those names. Duke of Burgundy, Berry, and Anjou. And then, of course, his mom. Fun fact, this woman had like 15 kids.
What?
Yeah, it's insane. She was a trooper back then, I guess. It's a lot, especially back then.
I'm sorry, that's...
It was a lot. I think I have an exact number in here somewhere.
That's like 10 to 12 years pregnant. Yeah. I mean, if it's back to back to back, good Lord. Yeah, probably. It could be more than that.
Yeah, there were no twins. Yeah, there are big gaps in between them because they were with different men.
15.
Well. Yeah.
Wow. 15 births, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd have to get the Google machine back out for official numbers, but...
I mean, if they counted them, then it's likely that these were births.
Her official number is somewhere later in my notes.
That's insane.
We'll see what happens, folks.
Guys. Wowza. I can't breathe, Shannon. I can't breathe.
We're on paragraph 3, folks. As one would expect, all of these dukes begin replacing high court officials with their cronies, and they are ruling in the young king's stead. So that's 1380. 8 years later, so that makes him what? 17, 11 plus 8. That's 19.
Right.
So he's around 19. He's like, you know what? We're done. He has kicked all of his uncles to the curb. He climbs on the throne himself. But unfortunately, in 1392, a would-be assassin tries to kill the king's BFF. Okay. This sets the king off into a manic episode. All right. He starts to go into kind of like a frenzy and he gets all riled up. And he says that the would-be assassins are hiding with the Burgundians.
Intense.
The Duke of Burgundy is hiding this would-be assassin and he won't hand him over. So now Charles is pissed and he goes and launches this huge expedition against his freaking uncle to get this would-be assassin. Okay. This is just the first of one of his many manic episodes that start to happen.
Okay. Is there a reason Uncle is like, you can't have him? What's up with this assassin?
He has now kicked his uncle to the curb. His uncle is a little pissed. He is no longer in such a powerful position. So he could be trying to assassinate those close to the king so that he could go back into a position of power. You never know. All of these Machiavellian
He's
schemes.
trying to maybe stack the odds. You really need me.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So as they're going to Uncle Duke of Burgundy, this old beggar goes up to the king and he's freaking out. He's like, you have been betrayed. They have lied you. Do not go any further. Don't go any further. And he's freaking out. Now the king is freaking out and he's starting to get panicky. The soldiers take the beggar. They push him off. Get out of here. Get out of here, crazy old man. He follows them for like half a mile, just bellowing this. I mean, how long can you bellow in a field?
He's got to be serious, guys.
He's freaking out. The king's freaking out. Everyone's on edge and anxious. It's hot. right? And you're walking and you're trudging. And this dude that's walking up by the king, he sort of dozes. And his lance slips and it clangs on the helmet of another soldier dude. The king flips out. He thinks he's under attack. He starts charging against the closest people near him, which are his own soldiers.
What?
It takes multiple soldiers to get the king pulled off of his horse and out of the way to stop killing his own men. He killed like 5 or something of his men, until he collapses on the ground and basically falls into a coma.
Like struck with heat madness.
Yeah.
When a little kooky and something spooked him.
He had a psychiatric break and an episode, went into a manic frenzy, had a paranoid reaction, and fell into a coma. Yes.
Farts, man. That sucks.
What is he, like 19 now? Something like, no, like 21 or something now.
Right. So, and took out 5 of his own men.
Yeah. So they never even made it to Count Duke Burgundy. They went back home and put him in bed. He wakes up and he has on and off bouts. And by like 1393, he has now had periods where he doesn't recognize his own wife. He doesn't recognize his own children or members of his staff. He thinks he's St. George. He runs around wildly around the palace that they actually like board over exits and windows and stuff so he doesn't like launch himself through.
So he's essentially like having to be held captive because he's
on and off.
He's a little cray-cray.
On and off. He has moments of lucidity. Okay. Periods of time. And
very
then he has
Bridgerton, Queen Charlotte story where...
Right. Yeah.
Moments of lucidity.
That's King George, but yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Different vibes, but...
They all had that he was having mental illnesses, something going on. Paranoid delusions and manic, episodes.
Right. When you all marry each other.
Yeah.
Earth can get a little muddy. So.
By 1405... there was a period that he had actually refused to bathe or change his clothes for 5 months.
Wowza. I mean, not like I haven't fallen into a deep, deep depression myself.
5 months.
5 months, buddy.
Without a shower. That's a lot.
And I mean, you have everything at your disposal.
And this is from people that bathe like once a month.
Man.
For
what
them
a
to
poor
think,
dude.
Well, it doesn't get much better. So there's a point in his life as he gets older, he actually thinks he's made out of glass. Okay, this has become a real condition. He starts to protect himself in various ways so that he won't break because he is made of glass. So he has iron rods sewn into his clothes so he won't shatter if he even touches another person. This condition is now known as glass delusion.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just goes to show that like this guy was dealing with some like pretty severe mental illness. That's got to be really, really rough. I mean, yeah.
Also, he is the leader of this country who is embroiled in the 100-Year War against their nemesis, England.
Right.
So, unstable throne. The dukes are all pissed. They want their comeuppance. But first, we're going to talk about a really fun thing that happened. And you don't even have a page 2 in front of you now. So
no,
you
cool.
just get to enjoy this. Because now we're going to go back in a time of our lives. And we're going to talk about remind people of some Edgar Allan Poe. And how everyone was obsessed with orangutans, right? And how he wrote that story of how the king and the king's men dressed up as orangutans with pitch and fur.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So, I have found Edgar Allan Poe's muse for this.
It's like it's got to be. This has got to be it.
On January 29th.
All right.
1393. There was a huge masked ball, which became known as the Bal des Ardents. I know I said that wrong, I'm sorry. Which means Ball of the Burning Men. Okay, so it's organized by the Queen, okay, to celebrate the wedding of one of her ladies in waiting. It's at the palace. It's a big to-do. One of the king's dudes made a suggestion of, wouldn't it be so cool as we dressed up as like wild men and performed a dance for all of the crowds? So they dressed in costumes of linen, sewn onto their bodies, soaked in a resinous wax, and then it held a covering of frazzled hemp, so they appeared to be shaggy and hairy from head to foot. Okay.
Fire. Cool.
So just to be safe, because the king is like, whoa, dude, this is crazy. So we're going to do this, duh. But I'm going to demand that all of the torch bearers and the torches are just along the edges of the walls. All right. Let's not have anywhere else in the room. We'll stay in the middle of the room.
No open flame.
No, there's open flame because there's no other light.
Okay.
It's going to be on the edges of the room. And that's
right.
It. Okay. And they will be in the middle.
They had the foresight.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay. So, Louis is such a champ. He comes up in so many different ways at the beginning of this story. He seems like the rapscallion, little prince. He's the little brother.
Okay.
Louis.
Little Prince Louis.
Duke of Orleans. Younger brother. He came late. So he didn't know what was going on. And he was like, what's up with these dudes in the dark middle of the room? And he grabs the torch and he goes to go see what is going on in the middle of the room.
Oh, no.
And I just want to just throw it out there that to the dismay of many.
What?
These men accidentally went up into flames. Panic spread, flames spread. The Duchess of Berry, she threw the train of her dress over the king and protected him, so he was cool. And then, weirdly enough, several knights were also burned in the attempt to put out these men.
Weird.
Yeah, so thanks, Edgar. Just call back for you right there.
I love that.
Woo. All right. So we've said that poor King Charles, he is mentally ill. He's suffering. Once again, has a regency put over him. And his wife is put in charge of that regency.
Okay.
They have declared him unfit.
Right.
And now he has, as a grown man, he has a regency council again.
Right.
Okay. So his wife is leading it. The Duke of Burgundy is doing it. So we got Uncle back into the scene here. Mm-hmm. We have the younger brother, the Duke of Orleans.
The little fire starter.
The little fire starter. He sure is. He is also a bit of a fire starter because he is also known to be the king's lover. Or, I'm so sorry, not the king. I'm so sorry. That's his brother. I meant the queen's lover. Yeah. Well, come on. Her husband's mentally ill. Years of episodes. He's probably not a reliable partner. So she went somewhere else. She went to his younger brother. And one of the big conspiracies and thoughts and theories is, the heir apparent, the next Charles, isn't really Charles's, but maybe younger brother's.
Ooh.
Yeah. And on that cliffhanger, folks, we're going to take a quick break. So I hope that you enjoy the ads while you listen, and we can't wait to come back. Do you need to pee? Okay. All right. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed your break. We left you with a bombshell that it is possible that the queen's lover, the king's brother, the younger brother, Duke of Orleans, is actually the father of the heir apparent.
Dun, dun, dun.
Charles the Seventh. We're just going to keep going on up this trail.
It's wild.
A lot of Charleses. All right. So, but Charles the Sixth is mentally incompetent and he is under a regency again. Mm-hmm. So we have the wife.
Yes.
Little power struggle going on here. We have the wife. We have the younger brother, Duke of Orleans, who feels like he should have the throne because he's the king's brother. Mm-hmm. And then we have the Duke of Burgundy, who also feels like he is the king's brother, so he should have the throne. Mm-hmm. So because she's shagging up with Orleans, that is 2 against 1. And now we have the Duke of Burgundy, the Burgundians, against Orleans, who runs up with his other friend and becomes an Armagnac. So now we have the Burgundian and Armagnac War. This is the French Civil War between two brothers fighting over the throne over their incompetent brother's still body and a young possible bastard son. Is the scene set? Are we there? It's a lot. It's very Game of Thronesy. There's a lot of layers.
And then they're also involved in this 100-year war that Mr. Fifth decided to start.
Yep.
That the third.
Edward the Third.
I'm sorry.
I know there's a lot of numbers.
Way back when decided to start.
Yeah. And they're like 50 years into that war. They're about a lot of years, a lot of dead bodies. This is not the best time for France to involve themselves in a civil war. They need to be allied right now against the English, but they're not. They're fighting. To be fair, they do a lot of treaties with England, and they have these short periods of peace.
Yes, yeah.
Because
they're neighbors. Like,
let's stop doing this. They give each other daughters. Keep that in mind.
Right. They often, because they have daughters, they have to marry.
Exactly. They got to get rid of them.
And they have to get rid of them to something of station.
Yeah.
There's really not a lot of options.
Right. So you just keep swapping your kids back and forth.
Right.
and make your sons fight each other.
And be at war with each other.
All the time. So now we have a French Civil War. Brother against brother. Crazy brother there.
Right.
Scene is set.
Oh, because they're mad at each other?
No, they want the throne. Everyone
because
wants
they
the
want
throne.
the throne.
Duh.
Just throw more dead peasants. More dead peasants. I want the throne. Oh my gosh. What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
Oof.
I don't know. I prefer air conditioning, indoor plumbing, and deodorant. So I
don't know, but like if you believe in reincarnation, you know, that would be like every 20 to 30 years.
Yeah.
You just get recycled into a new, horrible, terrible life.
Yeah.
Isn't that just...
Because really only the 1% were lucky enough to be rich.
And they got to make it a lot longer.
And they were born that way.
Often.
You don't get to make it rich. Now at least we can make millionaires and go, pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Blech. I hate that phrase.
I know.
Anyways, but yes, it is easier to live a healthful life.
And become a millionaire. Then you just were born. And that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So 1404, the Duke of Burgundy dies. All right. And then his son takes over. Okay. He is a little more feisty than his dad. Got the young buck adrenaline going through him. So in 1407, he murders the Duke of Orleans because he's like, we're tired of all of this. I am taking the throne. Okay. So
I figured he was either going to like murder that dude or he was going to like slide in and start hooking up with the queen. It was one or the other.
Yeah.
Feisty little guy.
Feisty little guy.
All right.
So here we go. The 12th kid. The queen is having her 12th child, which is most likely the Duke of Orleans.
Right.
Okay. So he was leaving the palace, saying goodbye to her right after she had delivered the 12th child. How many of the 12
factory
were his? You know what I mean? How far back has this relationship been? Are all of the kids? It feels very Targaryen in the second part of the shows on HBO where like all of her kids are this one dude's, not her husband.
Yeah. Well, I mean, same thing with the Lannister. They were all his children.
They were all his children too. Yeah, you're right.
Not what Baratheon or whatever his name was.
Exactly, it was not the Baratheons. They were blonde. So this is very, very similar to those situations. So after they had their 12th child, he was murdered right outside by the new Duke of Burgundy. He then says, I don't care. I did this. He deserved to die. He was trying to usurp the throne. I'm the rightful dude that should be running the country.
Right.
Okay. Now, let's not forget that the Duke of Orleans has kids with his own real wife. So this person became the new Duke of Orleans. Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
I know.
Okay.
Now that kid is pissed at the new Duke of Burgundy.
Okay.
So now we have a whole new generation fulfilling the hatred of the Burgundies against the Orleans and Armagnacs. New generation starting fresh.
I was going to say that like every single time I watch some sort of historical TV show that surrounds a period of like some king, right? It always feels like it's pretty much the same story.
Yeah. A bunch of dickhead dudes trying to get the power.
Yes.
Brother against cousin and brother.
It's like a generational
right. And over again.
Over and over.
Yeah.
I'm digging it, though. All right. Here we are.
So here
Round 3 of the same story.
Officially starting the Armagnac-Burgundian War, which lasted from 1407 to 1435. So this does end before the 100-Year War ends. So it's right smack dab in the middle of the 100 Years' War. Kind of.
Okay.
All right. So now we have a French Civil War going on. Okay.
And 40 minutes of content. And
we haven't even hit the person we want to really talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you have to set the scene on why she was so influential, why she made such an impact in the country, why these people followed her, why they called her a saint. Why?
Absolutely. So I'm still here for it. I just wanted everybody else to know that we also acknowledge
we haven't even gotten to the topic yet.
That we know that this episode is totally titled Joan of Ark.
Yeah.
I
had to do his glass delusion, and I had to do the Burning Men, the Ball of a Burning Men. Yes. So to do that, you have to do Charles VI.
Listen.
The Mad, Charles the Mad.
She has to set the scene. She is the Anne Rice of podcasters, guys.
Because it's Charles VII that is involved with Joan of Arc. And he is the French king that she communicates with. It is Charles VII, which we haven't even gotten there yet because Charles VI still has regents.
Okay.
When he dies, Charles VII takes the throne.
Nice.
Let's see how much longer we have until that. Okay, we're going to actually put a pause on that. We're going to jump to England. Okay?
Okay.
The King Henry V in England, right? Right now they're in a period of truce, like we were talking about. From like 1395 to 1411, there is a truce. But he is sitting there watching the French tear themselves to pieces and fighting against each other. And he says, you know what? Now's a really good time to attack.
Oh.
So he does, and he invades France again. He captures Agincourt in 1418 and officially kicks that French and English war back into full swing. So now we have the French countryside being attacked by the English and the French attacking the French.
Cool. Can't just let it go.
But I have to be in power.
Let's throw more peasants.
All right. 1418, Paris, held by the English with the Burgundians. Naughty Duke. So Charles VI is like, this sucks. After 2 years of not having control of Paris in 1420, he's like, okay, maybe you can
2 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Things move really, I don't want to, is it slow? Is it fast? It takes a long time. I don't know how to, can you imagine 2 years? The people in Paris are stuck, not able to do their trades and their regular commerce because the English soldiers are just there being dicks, stomping around. The Burgundians are coming. The Armagnacs are kind of trying to get Paris back and they never can. Like, it's just this constant bickering and fighting and consumption of resources.
For real. As a person of that region, you literally bounce or you deal with the constant torment and then eventual death.
Right. Cool. And Paris has big cities back then. They had walls all around them. So you're trapped inside this enclosed space.
Starving to death.
Well, it's not under siege. And Paris has rivers and stuff to resupply. Okay. But it's like,
But still.
Yeah. It's war-torn for 2 years.
Vibes.
Charles has a moment of lucidity, and he's like, take my daughter, as they do.
Right. You take my daughter.
Yeah.
And we'll call it good.
Yeah. So he gives Henry, the King of England, Henry V, he gives his daughter, and he writes him into the will. He says, you can be my heir. How about when I die, you can be my heir?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Okay, so that cuts out Charles VII, the Dauphin, the prince. It cuts out the Duke of Burgundy, who feels like he should have it. And it cuts out the Duke of Orleans, who feels like he should have it.
Right.
Okay. So everyone is very pissed about this treaty. Mm-hmm. Very pissed. So here's the surprise twist. Henry V, in August 1422, he dies. He leaves on the throne a little baby infant of the daughter that Charles VI just gave Henry, right? Here's my daughter. Let's sign a peace treaty. They have a baby. Baby is months old.
Months old.
When Henry dies. So there's a baby on the throne of England, and Henry dies.
Okay.
But then, just months later, Charles VI also dies. So both of the kings of France and England die of unrelated things within 2 months of each other.
Okay.
So now there's a baby on the throne in England, and the Dauphin Charles VII finally gets to be the king.
Okay.
But he has to be crowned in northern France, and northern France is occupied by England. So the new king of England gets crowned the king of France in northern France. And then Charles VII gets crowned the king of France in southern France. So right now there's a period of time where there are two men claiming to be the king of France, the English king and the king of France, Charles VII. There's a lot going on. It's very political.
Right.
It's
because
crazy.
One is like, I now get this.
Yes.
Because it was my father's right.
Yes.
And the other one is like, we are not going to honor this man's words.
Totes.
His will.
Because we don't really, first of all, he's mentally incapable. Shouldn't have even done it. He went against his little regency. He just did it.
Okay.
So we have the Burgundians still siding with the English, and they are saying that the Dauphin is not the king, and he shouldn't even be the king anyway because he's the Duke of Orleans' kid, right? Because the queen was sleeping with the younger brother 6 Orleans ago.
He's like, no. This isn't even the correct kid to show up for this.
Yeah, and there's no Maury Povich to help out to find out who the baby daddy is.
Right.
So there's always this question on if Charles VII was a bastard or a legitimate king. This will follow him, and it will come back in with if we ever get to Joan of Arc.
All the way up
in
into
episode 17.
25. He is still
because there's
the bastard.
Yeah. I believe
prince.
He was Orleans but he's really old, so he was born towards the beginning of when they got married, so maybe he was still having more lucid moments and not as manic. I think more
Do you
Orleans...
think she was married into a crazy man? Or
he first started showing symptoms at 21?
Yeah.
And he was already married by that point. So they probably got married at 17. I could probably look it up, but I don't care that much.
And had babies.
By then, yeah. He probably had a couple kids by then.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense that they would have had.
I just feel like the crazier that Charles VI got, the more kids Orleans had with the queen.
Fair. I mean, yeah, you never know, but I feel like any woman would be super into her duty of creating an heir for the throne. You know what I mean?
That's your only job.
Depends.
It's your job to create the heirs. But you don't do it with his brother.
Yeah.
Because then you put the whole succession into question. And it opens the door for a civil war like what is going on now. And that's where we're going to wrap up on episode 1 is we are right in the middle of a French Civil War as well as a French and English war.
Yep.
This is sowing the seeds of unrest in the population, discontented peasants. Who is going to step up and be leaders to us? Because these dudes are like raising taxes so they can get soldiers and money because war's expensive.
Right. They are more concerned about protecting the throne
And themselves.
than
the people.
than they are in protecting the people.
The trade routes, the economy, the stabilization of the administration, none of it, all of it is going to the wayside, as they're fighting all of these wars.
Right.
And people are tired of it.
Yeah. So this absolutely sets the scene of a pissed off population.
Looking for a savior.
Right. And 2 very preoccupied,
Dudes.
young leaders.
Charles VII at this point, I feel like is early 20s, 26, something like that when he meets Joan. And the Bebe in England really has regencies at this point, and they are the ones that are calling the shots on the English side. But we're going to focus more on the French side because that's who Joan is. We're going to talk about the English, but not as in depth.
Right.
And then next episode, when we come back, we're finally going to meet the lady of the day.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So we look forward to seeing you guys next time, and we hope you come back.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.